So this is lesson 21, problem set that we're going to be doing here. And let's just start with some of these practice ones. Let's look at A. We've got the ratio of two numbers is 4 to 5. And again, a ratio is going to look like that. And we have two numbers that have that same ratio. And a little bit ago we called it numerator over denominator. You could, it doesn't really matter what letters you use. You could use XY if you want. So let's go ahead and use XY. Their sum is 108. So it's hard to compare that in that unless we do cross multiplication there first. So let's do that. 4y equals 5x. And let's set this equal to, well, let's set it equal to y. Let's divide both sides by 4. So y equals 5/4 x. So now I'm going to look up here, and whenever I see an x, I'm going to put a 5/4 in, or a y, I'm going to put a 5/4 in. And that equals 108. So now I have 1x plus 5/4 x equals 108, so I'm going to have to change this so it has a common denominator with my 5 over 4, so I'm going to make this 4 over 4. So 4 over 4x plus 5 over 4x is 9 over 4x equals 108. And again, I've got a fraction, but I do everything the same. I divide both sides by 9/4. Those go away. Multiply by its reciprocal. So I have x equals 108 times 4 over 9, or 108 over 1. So this will be 432 over 9. Now will that reduce? Yes, it will. It will reduce to 48. I'm thinking, yeah, 48. So now I'm going to take my 48 and I'm going to plug it in there and find out what my y value is based on that. So 48 plus 60 equals 108. So that's how you would do the practice problem A. I'll leave B on your own for that. Number 1 is exactly like practice problem A that is right there on your screen, just using different numbers there. And number 2 is just like B as in boy. It's also like the problem set that we did, example 21.3. Let's see, keep going through here, see if there's any others like 21. 14. So here's number 14, and it asks us to simplify. And just to remind you, this decimal has to be over here past this 3. We can only have one non-zero number to the left of the decimal. So let's do it in yellow here. We'll make it a 3.0 times 10. And what did we do with that decimal? We moved it 3 over to the right. And remember, when you move it 3 over to the right, I'm sorry, 4 over to the right, didn't we? 1, 2, 3, 4. When you move it 4 over to the right, you have to subtract 4. So 8 minus 4 is 4. So that's how it's correctly written. Now let's look at the next one. We're going to move the decimal 1, 2, 3 over to the left, and whenever you move it to the left, you add 3. So to the right you subtract, to the left you add. We're moving it 1, 2, 3. So we moved it to the right, so we're going to subtract 3 from 15. And the 2, we moved it from here, 1, 2, 3. Let's make that decimal a little bit lower. And when we move it to the left, we add the 3. So we have 10 to the 8th. Okay, so then we take these numbers and multiply. these numbers and add them, these numbers and multiply, these numbers and add them. And it would help if I added correctly. This looks like a 2. It should be an 8. So this should be a 20. Okay, now we divide, or we reduce in this case. That would be 9 over 6, 3 over 2. So then we've got 3 over 2, I made that line too long, times 10. Remember, you subtract. 7 minus 20 would give me a negative 13. Well, that looks pretty silly. 3 halves times 10 to the minus 13. You can't do that, so we have to change that to a decimal. So remember, when you're writing scientific notation, you have a decimal or a fraction, you have to change it to the decimal. And you're done. Alright, so that's number 14. So you should be okay, it looks like, with the rest of them. And I'll just leave the rest of it up to you.